We're going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Barron. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're out there on YouTube, and also rate the show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, another just miserable performance, I guess we'll call it. Just another not a good look for our beloved Chicago Bears, losing to the Minnesota Vikings 12-30, and just another bad game. But hey, we're here to break it down for you. So if you appreciate that, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and also download the podcast everywhere you get your podcast, because we're getting close, right? The best part about this game is that we're 4 games away from it all being done, and then we can focus on the offseason, we can focus on the draft, we can focus on the free agents, we can focus on a new head coach, and just get rid of this entire season, because this is another just bad game, and yet again, another game that we get blown out, and it just further cements, at least we don't have, I guess if we could say something positive, we can say that we don't have to make the decision on Thomas Brown, because it's kind of made for us. It's not going to happen. This team is flat. This team is not playing well together. It's not good. It's not good. Exactly what Rob said. Just crazy bad. Not good at all. Also, what's good, Joe? What's good, Drax? Hope you're all doing well. Oh, man. Everything was bad today. Everything was bad today. If we look at the stats, and right now we just have the basic stats because we're going live right after the game. Only 191 passing yards for Caleb Williams. Not his best performance. We saw it on tape too. He only got sacked twice, which is good. But there was a lot of snaps out there too that you saw him just running around and trying to make something happen. But they also called it out on the broadcast that there was a good handful of people that were open, that he could have thrown the ball to, but he just simply didn't. And then also on the ground, this is our best running game performance that we've had. DeAndre Swift, 19 carries, 79 yards, 4.2 yards a carry. So he had a good game, but it took him a while to at least get started. It felt like towards the second half, you started to see him run with a little bit more aggression, which was good to see because, yet again, when he tries to go side to side, it's not going to work, right? It's just simply not going to work. People can outrun him. People can bring him down. But when he's running with a head of steam and running downhill, that's when he starts to get a little bit more of those yards. But then also receiving 13 targets to Keenan Allen, multiple drops by Keenan Allen. So this is where the team is just bad. The team is playing bad. And it's like what we see on tape. What we see on tape is we see Caleb making good plays. We also see Caleb holding onto the ball too long, which I felt like we saw today. It's all the same stuff. Then we see the offensive line get some really bad reps out there. I don't know how many penalties Karan Amagaji had, but yet again, you have him going out there and playing, and he's someone that really did not have a lot of these reps. And we didn't see it in training camp, and they expect him to kind of get a good first start against Minnesota. Yeah, it wasn't good. Now, I'm not writing off Amagaji at all, and I don't think anyone should. He didn't have reps starting out, so you kind of expected him to not play like this, especially since he didn't play a lot his final season because he was banged up in his final season as well because of that whole hamstring injury. But also, we see another perfect target to reception ratio with DJ Moore, which has been crazy. 8 for 8, 46 yards. They were just trying to give him the ball short and 24 yards on the ground. And Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams were off today. 7 targets, 2 receptions overall there. So not a pretty performance when he was targeting his wide receivers that weren't just like little tiny dinks and dunks out to DJ Moore. It wasn't good. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't good at all. So when looking at the tape, that's what I'm going to be looking at is it's going to be brutal. And for those that are new to the show, we review the tape the next day. So on Tuesday, we'll review the tape. Then Wednesday, we'll do our preview show. I feel like we're not going to come away with this feeling good. I think we're going to feel probably better about the offensive line than it did, just because there was some of those snaps that he was completely clean. It's just, yet again, Amagashi just got absolutely cooked. But I really want to see how the line actually performed. But I can tell you, Caleb didn't look good. That's what I felt. And then Drax staying out there. Darnell Wright gave up a nasty sack. Yeah, it it was a frustrating game. But hey, the defense at least didn't allow over 100 yards to a running back. So, there's that. We didn't allow over 300 passing yards. So there's that. But wasn't a good game nonetheless. We gave up 30 points, which yet again, Eberflus never really did that much. Under Washington, without the head coach, people are giving up. People are playing for themselves. And you see Justin Jefferson, 73 yards, Addison, 63, Hawkinson over 50. So their big playmakers got theirs. Aaron Jones, yeah. I agree with you, Drax. All I see in my little chat is just gross in big old caps. Exactly. It was not good. It wasn't good. It was so gross, as we coin it on this show. Just gross stuff out there all around. Because the defense, not great. It was at least nice to see. I will say this. We saw DeMarcus Walker play well in the first half. Then we kind of saw him vanish. As soon as they started saying, Walker having a good game, he's gone. And yeah, but I got to say too, there's those ups and downs of Tyreek Stevenson, someone yet again I really want to watch on tape because it seemed like when he was challenged, he was able to do decently well. And you also saw O'Connell, they would try and motion JJ over to the other side to try to kind of see, okay, are we going to get a one-on-one, not with Jalen Johnson? So I want to say, if you're looking for a positive spot, at least whenever someone's on Jalen Johnson, they don't throw it that way. So we have him locked up for long term. So at least people still respect him and know that he's good. So there's at least that going for us. But speaking of things that don't go our way, let's talk about some of the inactives, shall we? So Roschon Johnson, another week he's not out there due to the concussion. Braxton Jones also was out. Javon Dexter also out. And that's where you saw no Javon, no Billings. The D tackles, not good. Not good at all. My wife was watching the game with me and she's like, Brad, why can't the Bears stop anyone? I'm like, well, basically the depth at defensive tackle was one of the biggest issues that they had. And both of their starters are out. It's the one position group that both starters are out. And that's why they can just run it straight up the middle. Not good at all. And yeah, it's not great at all. And then we also have Ryan Bates out, Noah Sewell, Amir Speed. Not great at all. But let's continue this offense. And there's not, I think like with this, what's hard when we do these post and pregame, post games, previews, and stuff like that, it's a lot of the same stuff. And where, to me, this just kind of felt a lot of the same, where the offensive line wasn't perfect. Caleb was not good in this. That's what it really felt like. And the wide receivers, there's drops, but at the same time, there's opportunities where they're open. It's just everything just isn't clicking for this team. And just overall with this offense, it was nice to at least see DeAndre Swift get his and look halfway decent. But still, I'm not here to tell you that I've never been a DeAndre Swift fan. I like it when he runs hard, but it's just it hasn't been pretty. But let's flip over to the defense, where yet again, nothing very pretty at all out there too. TJ Edwards, 8 tackles, Tremaine Edmonds, 7, Jonathan Owens, 6 tackles, and Kevin Byard, 6 tackles. Now, something that I will say that was really good is we continue to see Kyler Gordon ascending. We continue to see Kyler Gordon looking really, really good out there. And that's at least something to hang your hat on, right? Because as we're looking towards the next season, hopefully you can get Montez Sweat back healthy. You can get Javon Dexter back healthy, Billings back healthy, and then also Jalen Johnson back and Kyler Gordon. And you can always, you still have 2 okay corners with Smith with Smith and also with Tyreek Stevenson. So you at least have 2 of those players. You can always upgrade from that. You still probably need a safety with Jaquan Brisker not out there. But this defense, you did see Kyler Gordon play well. And it's nice to see him get some more respect on his name too, because he is such a talented player, such a good player. So that is something that, if you want to look for a bright spot, there's that in a slew of just boring games. Because was anyone else kind of bored during this game? Because that's how I felt. I had the Bulls game. I have a 2 TV setup now, so I got the Bulls game going. I got the Bears game going. Bulls at least won, so there's at least that. But yeah, just the Bears, brutal game, rough game. And let's just flip over to special teams, because honestly, we might just keep this short because it's a lot of the same old, same old. And with special teams, I will say Torrey Taylor had some good punts out there. He had some pretty good ones, and his best play, getting the roughing the kicker. But also someone who looked really good. I thought Josh Blackwell looked good returning. Thought he looked pretty darn good. For someone that is a backup, that is also a defensive player, like we were talking about all the way back in preseason, that was something that we were kind of hoping with Blackwell being a good slot, a good young slot, that maybe something pans out with them as being a good backup. But it was nice to see Blackwell out there at least returning. But let's talk about our most valuable Bear. Like I said, I think that we're just going to keep this short and sweet, because there's not much to talk about this game. It was boring. It wasn't fun. And hey, you know what? Sam Darnold at least 24 of 40. But let's talk about MVBs. So let's see. What does everybody say out there? So Drax saying MVP is Swift for him. He said, even my wife said he played hard and didn't give up. That's the thing. When no one else is like trying, Swift is like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to start playing. I'll do this now. And then Swift goes out there, has a pretty good game. And honestly, it might be that, because Keenan Allen, 6 catches, 82 yards. You know, DJ Moore, I can't give it to him because he just always looks so I'm not going to say depressed, because he doesn't look depressed. He just looks like he's given up. That's what he looks like. He doesn't look sad. He just looks like he doesn't care. So to me, I'm not going to give it to DJ because of his attitude, because I just don't like it out there, right? You need to keep your head up. You need to, it just seems mopey. It just seems whiny out there. The only other thing is, I thought TJ Edwards, sack, 2 tackle for losses, 1 QB hit. TJ Edwards played a pretty good game. And like I said, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, we might give it to Walker. Walker comes away with 1 tackle and one tackle for loss, 4 QB hits though. So Walker's up there. I guess what we'll do is Walker will be the backup, and let's give it to Swift, because Swift, I think, defied a lot of people's expectations. Actually had a halfway decent game, was really fighting out there towards the second half. But yeah, let's talk about what Joe just said. Are the Bears going to be able to beat anybody? Let me know. Do you guys think? Actually, I'll put a little poll out there. You know, will the Bears win another game? Yes or no? Let's see what y'all have to say. Because I guess from my perspective, I don't think so. And it's one of those where you're bound to just kind of step into one of these games where you just so happen to win. You know, by just playing decent, you should be able to at least win a game. And also, I misspoke. There's 3 games left, because my update, it didn't update the actual record on my screen. So yeah, we're 4-10. We just have 3 games left to be disappointed. Seahawks, Packers, and Lions. And I mean, one of those people might have their backups out there, like the Lions, because everybody on that team is injured. Maybe they don't want anybody else to get injured, and they do something like that. But man, it looks like they might not be able to win another one of these games. Maybe the Seahawks or Packers or Lions play their backups or something like that. But that's the only thing I can think of. It not legitimately win anything like this. They look flat. They don't look like they want to play. 3 more games, and then we'll hit you with, in my opinion, the best offseason coverage out there, where we have our own draft board, our big board, where we break down all the players that I've watched and we talk about the draft. Now, it's been a sad season, but at least we got that coming up. Our mock-off seasons, everything that we break you down, we have you covered. So make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe out there. Have an amazing week, because the holidays are just about here, and we will be breaking down the All 22 tomorrow live on the show around 7:15 Central Time on YouTube. And then on Wednesday, we will be live to break down the next opponent. And hopefully we end up coming away maybe with a win against the Lions. We'll see, but we'll have you covered. And with that, have a great night. Unbearable Sports Podcast. We are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair, and you know that she's